Talasakyo.
Tiana. Billy Khale.
Teonna Rainwater's story is one of the most gripping and heartbreaking arcs in the entire Yellowstone universe. As we edge closer to the premiere of 1923 Season 2, the lingering questions about her fate, her connection to the modern-day Yellowstone saga, and how her journey will unfold have us on the edge of our seats.
I've sworn to kill the Indian in you. I will keep my word.
So she's at her wit's end, and she's been so defiant that they don't want her influencing anyone else.
You lash out. All will lash out.
It's a dark history, so it made me feel the need to be more protective of Amina because we had to be able to bring her back out of that.
If I didn't have Mo with me every day on set, I don't know if I could do this. It's really brutal on her. Her hair is very sacred. It's her mind, body, and spirit. After that, she decides she needs to get out.
What horrors still await her? How will she fight back against a cruel world that's stacked against her? And most importantly, how does Tiana bridge the gap between the past and present in the Yellowstone timeline? Let's unravel the mystery and explore what's next for Teonna Rainwater in 1923 Season 2. If there's one character in 1923 who embodies resilience and the will to survive, it's Teonna Rainwater. Her story began in Season 1 with unimaginable tragedy. As a young Indigenous girl, she endured the brutal reality of a Catholic boarding school, a system designed to strip Native children of their culture, identity, and humanity. Every moment of her time there was steeped in pain, cruelty, and terror. For Tiana, the boarding school wasn't just a place. It was a nightmare she had to escape at any cost. And escape she did, but not without consequences. Her bold defiance led to the death of a nun, a desperate act of survival that marked her as a fugitive. With every step she took to flee that place, the danger followed close behind. We saw her traverse harsh landscapes, dodge ruthless pursuers, and fight for her life with a strength that belied her age. By the end of Season 1, Tiana had finally found a glimmer of hope. Reunited with her father, runs his horse, and his companion, Pete Plenty Clouds, Tiana experienced a rare moment of safety. But even in this fleeting sense of relief, the shadow of danger loomed large. The world she lived in was unforgiving, and her people were targets of systemic oppression and violence. As Season 2 approaches, the questions remain. What awaits Tiana now that she's reunited with her family? Can she ever truly escape the cruelty that hunts her? And how will her story tie into the broader Yellowstone universe? Season 1 didn't just leave us invested in Tiana's survival, it also left us questioning the real-world history her story reflects. The brutality she faced in the boarding school system is a chilling reminder of a dark chapter in history, one that affected countless Indigenous children. Tiana's struggle is fictional, but the pain it portrays is very real. Now, the teasers for Season 2 have given us a glimpse of what's to come, and it's clear that her fight is far from over. The scenes hint at more danger, more heartbreak, and perhaps a path toward healing. But nothing about Tiana's journey will be easy. She's a survivor, but survival comes with its own scars. The stakes are higher than ever, and with the loss of Pete Plenty Clouds' actor, Tiana's future has become even more unpredictable. Will the show introduce a new ally for her, or will her story take an even darker turn? One of the most tantalizing mysteries surrounding Teonna Rainwater's story in 1923 is her ability connection to Thomas Rainwater, the cutting-edge day Native American leader we've come to know in Yellowstone. The proportion, the identical ultimate call, a detail that seems some distance too intentional to be an accident. But how precisely does Tiana healthy into the Rainwater lineage? And what does this connection imply for the overarching Yellowstone universe? Season 1 gave us little in terms of concrete answers, but the groundwork has simply been laid. Tiana's story is wealthy with historic intensity, chronicling the devastating consequences of colonization on Indigenous communities. Her person not best gives voice to a technology silenced by way of systemic oppression, but also serves as a bridge between beyond and present. If Tiana is certainly an ancestor of Thomas Rainwater, her journey could explain how the Rainwater circle of relatives rose to prominence and the way their project to reclaim their history started out. One of the most famous theories amongst lovers is that Teonna Rainwater will be Thomas's grandmother or superb grandmother. This could make feel chronologically and thematically. Tiana's story is one in all survival, resilience, and the fight to preserve her subculture, features we see mirrored in Thomas Rainwater's leadership in Yellowstone. He is deeply dedicated to shielding the Broken Rock Reservation and reclaiming land stolen from his human beings. a mission that aligns with the struggles Tiana faces in 1923. If this concept holds real, it meant that the Rainwater family's legacy began with Tiana's bravery. Her refusal to bow to oppression and her dedication to survive against all odds ought to have set the stage for her descendants to rise as leaders and protectors of their network. The teasers for 1923, Season 2 have already hinted at further exploration of Tiana's heritage. We see her once again fighting for survival, but there are also glimpses of moments that could tie her story to the broader Yellowstone timeline. For instance, there's a scene where Tiana is shown reconnecting with her father, Runs his horse. Could this reunion reveal more about her family history and their connection to the land? Another intriguing detail is the suggestion that Tiana's character will experience moments of growth and emotional connection in Season 2. If she begins to heal and open up, we may learn more about her past, and perhaps her future. Her relationship with Pete Plentyclouds, while tragically cut short, hinted at the possibility of a new family lineage. Even though the actor's passing has left this plotline unresolved, the writers could pivot toward introducing another character who plays a pivotal role in shaping Tiana's legacy. What makes Tiana and Thomas's potential connection so compelling is the thematic continuity it creates. Both characters embody the spirit of resistance and the fight to reclaim what was lost. For Thomas, this means standing up to the Duttons and the encroachment of modern society on indigenous lands. For Tiana, it means escaping a system designed to erase her identity and fighting to preserve her culture against all odds. If Tiana is indeed Thomas's ancestor, her story could serve as the origin tale of the Rainwater family's mission. It would also add layers of depth to Thomas's character, showing that his fight isn't just about the present, it's a continuation of a struggle that began generations ago. The link between Tiana and Thomas Rainwater isn't just a matter of curiosity. It's a narrative thread that ties the past, present, and future of the Yellowstone universe together. By exploring this connection, 1923 has the opportunity to enrich both its own story and that of Yellowstone, creating a cohesive and emotionally resonant saga. But here's where the suspense lies. Will Season 2 confirm this connection outright, or will it leave us guessing? The show has a knack for keeping viewers on their toes, and the mystery surrounding Tiana's heritage is no exception. Teonna Rainwater's adventure is a testimony to survival. However, survival frequently comes at a steep fee. Season 1 showed us the harrowing reality of her life, from the brutality of the Catholic boarding college to her determined flight throughout risky landscapes. While she discovered a brief second of respite along with her father, Runs his horse, and his accomplice, Pete Plentyclouds, the demanding situations she faces are a long way from over. Season 2 is about to enhance her struggles, each external and internal, as the sector around her becomes even extra hostile. The teaser for 1923. Season 2 makes one aspect abundantly clean. Tiana remains a target. Her getaway from the boarding college didn't simply mark her as a fugitive, it made her an image of defiance. And for those in strength, symbols of defiance should be silenced. The Catholic Church and its retailers are not going to permit her getaway. Go unpunished. Tiana's killing of the abusive nun turned into an act of self-protection. However, inside the eyes of her oppressors, it's a crime that demands retribution. Season 1 already delivered us to Father Renaud, a person whose cruelty knows no bounds. His relentless pursuit of Tiana is fueled by a twisted feel of authority and manipulate, and it's secure to anticipate that his hunt for her will accentuate in Season 2. But the hazard doesn't end with the church. Tiana's moves have possibly drawn the attention of local government, who are complicit in upholding the oppressive systems of the time. Her popularity as an indigenous girl best compounds the hazard, as systemic racism guarantees that she is treated as less than human. Tiana's adventure isn't just a warfare in opposition to external forces, it's additionally a combat inside herself. Season 1 hinted on the enormous mental toll her reports have taken. Years of abuse, coupled with the regular worry of being caught, have left deep scars on her soul. Season 2 will in all likelihood discover these emotional wounds in extra intensity. How does someone who has persevered a lot discover the power to hold going? How does Tiana reconcile the trauma of her beyond, along with her hopes for the destiny? While Tiana is undeniably sturdy, she is also human. Moments of vulnerability, such as her gentle exchange with Pete Plentyclouds via the hearth, remind us that below her resilience lies a younger girl who has been robbed of her innocence. In Season 2, we may also see extra of those moments as Tiana navigates the sensitive stability among survival and recuperation. One of the central themes of Tiana's story is isolation. From the moment we met her in the boarding school, she was cut off from her family, her culture, and her community. Her escape marked the beginning of a journey to reclaim these connections, but the road ahead is far from easy. 1923 Season 2 will likely delve into Tiana's relationship with her father, Runs his horse. Their reunion in Season 1 was a powerful moment, but it also raised questions. How will Runs his horse protect his daughter from the dangers that still pursue her? And what role will he play in helping her reconnect with her culture and identity? The potential loss of Pete Plenty Clouds, following the tragic passing of the actor who portrayed him, adds another layer of complexity to Tiana's story. Pete represented a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, kindness and connection are possible. Without him, Tiana's journey may become even more isolating. However, Season 2 may introduce new allies for Tiana, whether it's members of her extended family or other Indigenous characters fighting similar battles. These connections could provide her with the support she desperately needs. At the same time, they could also expose her to new risks, as anyone who aids her becomes a target themselves. 1923. Season 2 is likely to continue highlighting the systemic injustices faced by Indigenous communities. The boarding school system, which sought to erase Native culture, was a brutal reality for countless children in North America. By shedding light on this dark chapter, 1923 doesn't just tell Tiana's story, it amplifies the voices of those who were silenced. 1923 Season 2 may also explore the broader implications of Tiana's fight. How does her struggle connect to the larger narrative of Indigenous resistance? And what role does her story play in the historical context of Yellowstone? One of the most compelling aspects of 1923 is its ability to blend personal stories with historical commentary. Tiana's journey is a microcosm of a larger fight for justice and cultural preservation. Her character serves as a reminder that the past is never truly behind us. It continues to shape the present in profound ways. Despite the overwhelming challenges Tiana faces, there are moments of desire that shine through. Season 2 guarantees to explore her emotional growth and the opportunity of recovery. In interviews, Amina Nieves, who portrays Tiana, has hinted at a softer facet to her man or woman, a facet which could become she starts off, evolved to allow her protect down. This growth may want to come within the shape of latest relationships, moments of cultural reconnection, or definitely the belief that she is not by myself in her combat. For a person who has spent so much time in survival mode, those small steps in the direction of recuperation are enormous. At its center, Tiana's story is considered one of resilience. No rely how many barriers are thrown her manner, she refuses to surrender. Her power is a source of concept, now not simply inside the International of 1923, but for audiences watching her journey unfold. Teonna Rainwater's journey in 1923 isn't only a non-public story, it's a narrative thread that ties the past, gift, and future of the Yellowstone universe together. As Season 2 prepares to delve deeper into her struggles and triumphs, the query isn't pretty much her survival. It's approximately what her story represents in the grander scheme of factors. One of the most charming components of 1923 is its capability to weave character arcs right into a sprawling generational saga. Tiana's arc is a pivotal piece of that puzzle, connecting the Rainwater lineage to the larger narrative of the Dutton family and their shared records with the land. If Tiana is indeed an ancestor of Thomas Rainwater, her actions and choices will have a profound effect on her family's future. Her refusal to bow to oppression, her dedication to preserve her identification, and her combat to reclaim her location inside the world all function the foundation for the Rainwater circle of relatives' challenge in Yellowstone. Thomas Rainwater, as we know him, is a leader who embodies resilience and vision. He is committed to defense of the Broken Rock Reservation and making sure that his people's historical past is not forgotten. These traits are not born out of skinny air. They may be inherited from folks who came before him. Tiana's journey in 1923 might also very well be the starting place story that explains how the Rainwater circle of relatives have become the defenders in their land and culture that we see within the present day timeline. But here's wherein it gets even greater interesting. What if Tiana's story isn't just about her connection to Thomas? What if it's also about her connection to the Duttons? The relationship between the Duttons and the Rainwaters has always been one of tension and complexity. In Yellowstone, we see Thomas Rainwater and John Dutton as adversaries, but their conflict is layered with mutual respect and shared grief over the loss of their heritage. Both men are fighting to protect their legacies, albeit in very different ways. Tiana's story in 1923 could be the starting point of this intricate relationship. While the Rainwaters and Duttons may be at odds in the modern-day timeline, their histories are undeniably intertwined. Season 2 has the potential to explore how these two families first crossed paths, and whether their connection began as allies, enemies, or something in between. One possibility is that Tiana's fight for survival brings her into contact with the Duttons in an unexpected way. Perhaps the Dutton family provides her with refuge, or maybe they are drawn into her struggle against the oppressive forces that seek to silence her. Such an alliance would add a fascinating layer of complexity to the Yellowstone universe, showing that the bonds between these families run deeper than we ever imagined. Teonna Rainwater is more than just a man or woman in 1923. She's a living, breathing image of resilience and the unyielding spirit of indigenous communities within the face of systemic oppression. Her adventure encapsulates the pain, strength, and perseverance that many Native peoples have persisted at some point of records, making her tale no longer best compelling, however additionally deeply significant. Through Tiana, 1923 brings to mind the ancient injustices that have long been overlooked, dropping an essential spotlight at the cultural erasure, abuse, and exploitation faced by using indigenous communities. Season 2 will surely continue to discover these topics with the identical raw intensity that made her tale in Season 1 so unforgettable. Tiana's combat for survival isn't just a private war, it's a combat for justice, a reclaiming of identification, and a refusal to be silenced. She serves as the effective bridge between the beyond and the existing, reminding us that the injuries of history are nonetheless a great deal part of our modern-day world. Her narrative is a name to motion, urging us to confront the legacy of colonialism and to honor the resilience of individuals who refuse to be forgotten. But Tiana is not simply a symbol. She is a deeply private, multidimensional man or woman. At her core, she's a younger girl burdened with the load of trauma, loss, and survival. By humanizing her stories, 1923 creates a person who is as relatable as she is inspiring. Her tale reminds us that even in the darkest instances, there is an unbreakable power inside us all. Watching her endure unattainable hardships at the same time as nevertheless maintaining onto her identification and experience of self is a testament to the strength of perseverance and wish. As we look ahead to Season 2, the stakes for Tiana are higher than ever. Will she discover a place where she will sense safe and loose? Or will the oppressive forces she's fought so difficult to break out keep to hunt her? What new demanding situations will she face? And how will they form her as someone? These are the questions that keep us invested in her journey. Moreover, Tiana's story has implications that attain far beyond her private arc. Her connection to the Rainwater family, doubtlessly as an ancestor of Thomas Rainwater in Yellowstone, adds layers of complexity and intrigue to the Yellowstone universe. Could her actions in 1923 be the muse upon which the Rainwater legacy is built? And what approximately her capability linked to the Duttons? If those families are intertwined, how will this shared records impact their dynamic inside the modern-day timeline? 1923. Season 2 holds the promise of answers, but it also guarantees extra questions, more heartbreak, and extra moments of triumph. The beauty of Tiana's story is its capability to undertaking us, no longer just as viewers, however, as human beings. Her narrative pushes us to confront uncomfortable truths about history, identification, and justice. But it additionally gives hope, showing us that even within the face of overwhelming adversity, the human spirit is capable of enduring and growing above. While we've spent a great deal of time speculating about Tiana's past and her capacity connection to the Rainwater and Dutton families, her destiny stays shrouded in thriller. Season 2 will surely bring new challenges and revelations. However, what lies in advance for Tiana? One possibility is that her adventure leads her to an area of protection and healing. Perhaps she reveals a network that embraces her, allowing her to reclaim her way of life and identity. Alternatively, her story may want to take a darker flip, displaying that the fight for justice is frequently fraught with sacrifice. Another exciting opportunity is that Tiana's destiny includes a deeper connection to the Dutton family. Could she discover herself forming a bond with one of the Duttons, creating a hyperlink between their two households that includes via to the present day timeline? The potential for this kind of storyline is great, and it would add a wealthy layer of depth to both 1923 and Yellowstone. Tiana's tale isn't pretty much her, it's approximately what she represents within the larger Yellowstone universe. Her individual brings a miles-wanted angle to the franchise, highlighting the reports of indigenous peoples and their ongoing fight for justice and recognition. By exploring Tiana's journey, 1923 enriches the narrative of Yellowstone, displaying that the struggles of the past are deeply connected to the conflicts of the existing. Her tale serves as a reminder that the combat for land, identification, and background isn't always only a historic difficulty, it's a war that continues to these days. As we look ahead to 1923 Season 2, the anticipation is palpable. Tiana's journey promises to be one of the most compelling storylines of the season, offering a mix of suspense, heartbreak, and hope. The teasers have already given us a glimpse of what's to come. Tiana facing new dangers, reconnecting with her father, and finding moments of vulnerability and growth. But the biggest questions remain unanswered. Will Tiana finally find a place of safety? How will her story connect to the Duttons and Rainwaters? And what impact will her journey have on the larger Yellowstone narrative? And there you have it, Teonna Rainwater's incredible journey through 1923, and how her story bridges the past and present in the Yellowstone universe. Her character represents so much more than just survival. She's a symbol of resilience, resistance, and the enduring fight for justice. As Season 2 unfolds, we're sure to see Tiana face new challenges, uncover hidden connections, and perhaps even redefine her legacy within this generational saga. What are your theories about Tiana's connection to Thomas Rainwater? Do you think her story will bring her closer to the Duttons? And how do you see her journey shaping the future of the Yellowstone universe? These questions are what make Tiana's story so captivating. She is a character who defies expectations, challenging us to think critically about history, identity, and the power of resilience. What do you think lies ahead for her in 1923 Season 2? Could she be the key to understanding the connection between the Duttons and Rainwaters? Must share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks!